Yeah, so all right, so we'll have a conversation about the Bible. You know, our YouTube channel is the Technological Bible, where we explain certain things in the Bible from a scientific perspective. So the title of this show, of this discussion today, Aparm, is what? The science behind?
Right, Esau and Jacob.
Right, the science behind Esau and Jacob. Science means knowledge, for y'all that want to
That's what.
get tripped up on the word. Science only means knowledge. That's all it means.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead, Aparm. What you discovered about that now?
No. What we discovered about, you see, what the church is doing, I'm talking about different Israelite group. They are teaching the Bible from, religious,
theological, like a theologian, yeah.
Right, perspective, right? You know what I mean? But what we try to do, that the Bible about Esau and Jacob is a scientific. When you go into the scientific understanding of it, you know what I mean, it is true. You know what I mean?
Right.
About Esau and Jacob being fraternal twin.
Right. So what's fraternal twins? So people don't know that. For people that don't know, what's a fraternal twin?
Okay, you can go on the thing and look for the definition, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look up.
Definition?
I'm gonna look up right now. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Right.
So
I'm gonna read the scripture, Genesis 5 and 25, right?
Right. What is a fraternal twin? What are fraternal twins? Twins, okay. And listen, we are using AI, just so everybody know, because AI is just a way to get information a lot faster. But we don't just take what AI say. We fact check AI too, because it gotta be correct. You can't just take what AI says either. But the sources, the answers coming from 20 different medical sites, right? So a fraternal twin, the technological medical term for it is dizygotic twins, fraternal. They form when two separate eggs are fertilized by two separate sperm during the same pregnancy cycle.
Right.
Okay.
So Esau father, right? Esau and Jacob father.
Isaac.
Was Isaac, right?
Right.
So from Isaac came two sperm, right?
One. Or two, two. Sorry, two.
Two sperm, right?
Yeah.
And Rebecca is his wife, right?
Yeah.
So Rebecca has two eggs?
Two eggs. According to what it says, the definition of a fraternal twins, two separate eggs are fertilized by two separate sperms. So this fits Genesis 25:25, the story of Esau and Jacob.
Right. Okay. You want me to read it, bro?
Yeah. Let's read it. Yeah, let's read it and see what it say. Exactly.
Genesis 25 and start at 21 verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it said, and Isaac prayed to Yahweh for his wife, the Lord. It's supposed to be Yahweh there, right? In the ancient Hebrew text.
Right.
For his wife, because it was barren, right? And the Lord entreated her. I'm reading from the New in the Bible. It's kind of different. See, I forget my King James Bible. It's okay if I read from.
Yeah. For now, yeah, that's fine. Because it's gonna be the same story. It's still the same story. It's not changed.
Genesis. Okay, yeah, right. Genesis 25. I think I have a King James Bible right here. But what I read, because people get buggered out when they read all the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right. All that is, just let me touch on that a little bit, part, because people don't understand that all that is just, it's not an interpretation. It's a what you call a translation. It's not an interpretation. It's just a translation from English to English, but it's more accurate in the King James. It's more accurate. But when you go into the Hebrew, that's when you really get the accuracy of what the words, the Hebrew and the Greek. But anyway, yeah.
Right. Okay. Genesis 25 and 21.
Right.
And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Right.
And the children struggled together within her.
So she conceived, she got pregnant, right? She got pregnant.
Right. You remember I sent you something about in the scientific world, sometimes the twin they not really fight, but they play with each other.
Right. So I'll touch on that. So in the womb, fraternal twins, most twins, I think this happens for every set of whatever twins they may be, identical or fraternal, they develop in a separate amniotic sac and with separate placentas.
Right.
So any sisters that's listening that have had kids, you know the parts of the body we're talking about. Some people don't understand. But the amniotic sac is where the baby grows. It's like a bag, and it has the water in there, and the baby develops in that sac. So the twins develop separately in separate sacs. But what happened is, according to medical science, what they say, when we asked AI, is that they say that twins normally do not fight in the womb. They don't fight. So they don't struggle. But when we touch on Esau and Jacob, this is a separate, distinct, unique situation going on.
Right.
Because the scripture going to tell you why they were struggling. Because what happened is Rebecca was feeling a lot of kicking, man. The babies were kicking, a lot of movement, and it's very uncomfortable. Any sister out there that's been pregnant and the baby moving around a lot, you know that's uncomfortable. So it had to be to an extent to where she complained about it. She's like, why are they struggling with inside? That was the perception she had.
Right, but when you just read, it tells you that normally in the scientific world, they do that.
Yeah, exactly. They interact. Yes, they interact. They definitely interact.
Right.
But as far as a fight or a struggle, you know, as far as a fight or a struggle, that most twins, according to the medical science, don't do that in the womb, but they do interact. They touch each other. They might kick. They might move their legs. They might, but they're in separate amniotic sacs. Yeah.
Okay. And they said, continue, and they said, and the children struggled together within her.
Right.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
See, so let me go back to the science now. So the fraternal twins, they have genetic similarity. They share about 50% of their DNA. They can be 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl. In this case, it was 2 boys. And again, the womb environment, the environment that they developed in, they always develop with separate placentas and separate amniotic sacs. And it says the appearance of Parim, which we're going to get to in the scripture, but go ahead. It tells you the appearance.
This 23rd verse, right?
Yeah.
The Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowel.
Separated.
And the word manner Right, the word manner mean like a lifestyle.
Right.
They're gonna have two different lifestyles.
Or personality, lifestyle, characteristics. Right. Yeah.
Right. And according to the medical report, what did the medical report say about that? The medical report go along with what the scriptures say.
Right. Everything is matching so far. When we read the definition of fraternal twins, it's matching up with Esau and Jacob so far.
Okay, so two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowel, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Right. So one people shall be stronger than the other, and we know that Black and Hispanic is more. I'm talking about when it comes to athletic. Any form of sport, we're stronger.
Right.
And mentally we're stronger because the slavery that we've been through, no other race could go through it. Don't you think so?
Yeah. It's definitely shows that shows the characteristics. If you look at who they are today, between who is Esau and who are the Israelites, you see a difference in that. With according to that, what we just read, you see a big difference.
Right. Okay. So they said here, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, they were twins in her womb.
Right.
So that's talking about fraternal twin, right?
Fraternal twins, right.
Okay. And the first came out red all over like an ear garment, and they called his name Esau. Remember, I said you something will show you that a fraternal twin, one of them can come out lighter and one of them can come out darker, according to the medical journal.
Well, let's see what AI told us according to these medical definitions. Not only are they genetically similar because they share 50% of their DNA, they can be two boys, which in this case is two boys. They develop it with separate placentas and separate amniotic sacs. So they were already separate in the womb. Technically, biologically, and medically, they were separated. They were separate in the womb. And that's why the angel told her, or the person, the seer, the prophet at the time, told her that two people, they're going to be separated from thy bowels. They're going to be separated. And then it says the appearance. It says they can look completely different from one another.
Right.
Fraternal twins can look completely different from one another. If that don't fit Esau and Jacob, then I don't know what that is. Right? That's what the science says. Yep.
Right. So what we're doing, we're backing up the Bible with scientific facts.
Right.
So, to show that we're not going off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not teaching no religious here. We're teaching about historical event. You know what I mean?
Right. That has an explanation behind it. And this is not, the Bible, like how we started out with the conversation, Aparim, the Bible is not a hocus pocus religious theological book, but the way that they have portrayed it over millennia is like it's a theological explanation for everything. Oh, God can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever miracle he wants. Yeah, we know that. We know he can do that. But there's things that when you go into it and explain it from a scientific point of view, it will actually make somebody actually view the Bible very differently. Instead of looking at it like some hocus pocus book, now you're gonna look at it like, wait a minute, this is actually science, knowledge.
But you know what people believe to Isaiah? Yeah. People don't believe that God deal with technology.
Right.
So when you read in the Bible, the information about building the ark, that's technology.
Right.
Because to build the ark, you have to have measurement.
Right.
You have to have a hammer. You have to have all the tools that make a carpenter, because the people who built the ark were carpenter.
Yeah, But wait a minute, weren't they? Hold on there. In Genesis, don't it talk about people who smelt iron? There were certain people who dealt with iron works.
Yep.
So that's a technology, smelting iron and melting iron, and that's backed up by history, because when you read a book by Ivan van Sertimer, he's gone now, God rest his soul, he's a great historian and scholar named Ivan van Sertimer, and he says they came before Columbus. That's the book he wrote. And he tells you in that book that they were smelting iron in Africa thousands of years before the way they do it today, and making steel and all that, making iron. They were doing it thousands of years before America was even so-called discovered.
Right.
And that's mentioned in Genesis. That's mentioned in Genesis.
Right.
Yeah, they were making musical instruments too.
Right, and it tells you that to build a tabernacle, that's a technology. They have to know something about carpentry.
Carpentry, architecture,
right.
Measurements.
Right. And then when you read the scripture, it tells you that God put the spirit of wisdom on these men to be skillful, to do certain, to do certain things with their own hand.
Yeah, so let's look at that apart. What is it? So we're talking about engineering. We're talking about ironworks, possibly even welding, because you have to put the iron pieces together, right? We're talking about architecture, which involves engineering, math. It involves a lot of mathematics.
Oh, that's true.
So these were not no cavemen, primitive, sitting down in the cave, dark. No, black people in history, Israelites in history, were not cave people. They were not backwards. They had certain knowledge. The nations had knowledge.
You're right. That's true.
Abraham taught knowledge in Egypt when he went down into Egypt.
That's true.
So when it comes to Esau and Jacob now, which is what we're talking about, that involves DNA and genetics, and the mixing of DNA and genetics, and those two parents coming together and their lineage. That the DNA that was passed down to Isaac and the DNA that was passed down to Rebekah created these two sons, Esau and Jacob, and it tells you the story about them in Genesis.
Right, because the word manner, when they go into the essence of the word manner, it's a lifestyle, custom. So these baby was gonna have two different lifestyle and two different custom and two different behavior.
Right. Right.
Manner mean.
And you know what, Aparm, when you read about Esau and Jacob as they were growing up and they became men, you could see that they both took different paths in life.
Right.
They took different paths because Esau was going to be a man of the field. The guy was a conqueror too. The guy went out and conquered a lot of people.
Yeah.
And passed that down to his sons and daughters, right? And Jacob was going to be a shepherd.
Right, and they say Esau would have lived by the sword.
He said he would live by the sword. Exactly.
Right.
So two totally different lifestyles, because it said Jacob was a plain man. He dwelled in tents.
Right. Spiritual, right?
Yeah, so that don't mean he was just chilling in the tent and being lazy. No, it meant that he was a nomad. He moved around. He tended cattle. When you have cattle, you put up a tent. Yeah, he tended cattle. And when you look at when Jacob and his 12 sons went down into Egypt, what were they doing? What was their occupation? Tending cattle. They kept the cattle of the Egyptians.
Right.
That's their occupation.
So what we're showing the people that Esau and Jacob, because when you check out over the years, right? When you talk about Esau and Jacob come from Isaac and Rebekah, and one of them was, lighter, and one was darker.
Right.
People tend to laugh.
Right.
So we showed you in the scientific world, they know that's true.
Yep. And let's look up something. Let's look up albino.
Albino, yeah.
And let's see what ChatGPT tells us about that. So these are coming from several different sources. So it says albinism is a rare, inherited genetic condition that reduces or completely stops the production of melanin, the pigment responsible for giving color to the skin, hair, and eyes. Because people with albinism lack this protective pigment, they typically have very pale skin, white or light colored hair, and a high sensitivity to environmental sunlight. So when
there's a gene called albino genes, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's what it says. It's a genetic condition. So when Esau came out of the womb, because remember he came out. Who came out first? Who came out first out of the womb?
The first came out red, and the first came out red. Esau came out.
Yeah, he came out first, and he looked totally different from everybody else. He looked red. He looked pale, reddish, pink. He looked totally different from when Jacob came out.
I was talking to our brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're fraternal twins, right?
Right.
And he was telling me that his brother is dark and his brother is lighter.
You see?
He has two different men.
You see?
And these guys that know he died, and they went two different way in life, and they think two different way, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that's
his brother.
that's a real life anecdotal story you're telling that you seen witness personally.
Yeah, I know these two brothers. I say, you guys are fraternal twins. He say, yeah, we're not identical. We're fraternal. But one of them is lighter, one of them is darker. One of them is tall, and one of them is short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have two different lifestyles.
Right, you know right. You remember?
Bro.
You remember that movie? That movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, twins. That's fraternal twins. Danny DeVito was very short, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was big and tall, and they look totally different. That's fraternal twins. That's Esau and Jacob.
Right.
So
Right.
So that's the understanding we're trying to bring to that.
So this is no hocus pocus or how to weigh out things that we saying. You know what I mean?
I like how you said that. It's not no way out thing because it happens. It happens in life. It happens. Babies, it happens. Babies are born fraternal twins. They don't look alike. They come out different. You have babies that are born looking that come out with the albino gene. These things happen. They happen. So what make it so hard to believe that it could not have happened in the past, in the biblical days? We're still in biblical days, but in the olden days.
And these two brothers, they have the same mother and same father.
Exactly. They come from the same mother and same father.
I don't know them personally, but they went two different paths.
You see?
They believe two different things.
So didn't Esau and Jacob come from the same parents? Isaac and Rebecca.
From the same. Right.
So now we hope that when y'all read Genesis 25, y'all look at it from a more realistic perspective, a more scientific, biological perspective, because it's real. It can happen. It could happen.
Yeah, and you can go and check it out for yourself.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Yep.
We don't read the Bible from no religious perspective.
Right.
We read the Bible from, and most of when you read the Bible, you have to read the Bible from a scientific perspective, because what this society do, they observe things, or they study things, and when you go back to the Bible, they link them.
Right. That's it. So we're gonna be doing more of this because there's so many topics and so many things to talk about from a scientific point of view that explains things in the Bible.
Right.
We're not, there's some people out there, Parm, that look to be like, well, I got you, I explained. You see, it's not really a miracle. It's this, that happened, and it ain't no power of God, is this, that. But what you have to understand is that the power of God uses technology also.
Right.
And the power of God uses science. And it performs science. It performs science.
Right. That's true.
You see, so
it's all over the Bible. It's all over the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's all over the Bible. Some things are on a higher level of like certain ways that Christ healed people. That's on a high level. It might not be so easy to explain that away with medical or biological or scientifically, but you can look at it from a scientific perspective and still have an idea of how it could happen.
Right. And things what they're doing in the society, things that they invent in the society 100 years ago, people think it's impossible.
Yeah, like how we're talking right now on the telephone. 200 or 300 years ago, it would have been impossible. You would have had to send a messenger.
Right.
Now you can talk on video and see the person's face via satellite.
It's like a miracle.
Yeah, so
it's like a miracle.
Yeah, if this were happening 200-300 years ago or 1,000 years ago, like you said, it would look like a miracle. Like, wow, how are they doing that?
Right.
So this is what we this is what we do, man. That's how we look at the Bible, because we got to get people to stop looking at it from this hocus pocus, magical, mysterious kind of, because that's what they used to. We know who they're talking about right here. We know what church.
Words that they translated. You know what I mean? Like when you say science, when you try to put science with God, people get bugged out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People bugged out that, and I mean, we're trying to put science with God. And science is knowledge.
Right.
And knowledge is from the Most High.
Right.
And knowledge have to do with technology too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All technology comes from the Most High. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. There's a whole process on how the earth was created through science.
And the angels deal with technology. God deal with technology. The angel deal with technology.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's all over the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
okay.
Bro.